In this economy, buying new tires can be a major expense, but driving on old tires can cost you your life. I'm Miranda Conning. You're watching WPTV's Ask the Attorney web chat. Joining me today once again is Lance Ivey, a partner at the personal injury law firm of Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivey, and Fronrath. And good to have you here on the show. Today we're focusing on tire safety, a topic that your firm knows all too much about. What are some of the warning signs when it comes to buying tires? I mean, I know a lot of people, they're going through hard times and they opt to go for the used tires, but that's not always the safest thing to do.
Well, for the average consumer, you want to check your tires at least monthly, right, looking for tread depths, measurements. If it's down to the wear bar at any point on the tread, you need to replace that tire. Look at the last 4 digits of the DOT number, which is on the sidewall. That tells you the week and manufacturer of the tire. And then take it to a reputable tire dealer who can tell you those signs of problems that you can't obviously see yourself.
Because some tires actually do have expiration dates on them, right?
A lot of vehicle manufacturers recommend 6 years from the date of manufacture, whether the tire's been in use or not, to remove it from service. A lot of tire manufacturers suggest 10 years, so there's a little bit of play there, but generally speaking, there is a date that you want to remove a tire from service, whether it's been in use or not.
So should all 4 tires be replaced at the same time, or can you just replace that one tire? Let's say you just have one tire that's really worn
In the
down.
perfect world, you would want to replace all 4 tires, obviously, but defer to the vehicle owner's manual. If it says that you must replace all 4 tires, then you do so. If it allows you to replace less than 4 tires, then generally speaking, you can replace 1 or 2 tires, depending on what the vehicle manufacturer says.
Now, you just mentioned 1 or 2 tires. For people that are only replacing 2 tires, where should the new ones be placed?
Generally speaking, unless the vehicle manufacturer has other recommendations, the 2 new tires go on the rear of the vehicle, not the front.
And what are some of the dangers if the new tires are put in the front?
If you have 2 new tires in the front and the older tires in the rear, when you get into a situation where there's water on the roadway, you can have a hydroplane situation, or an older tire is more likely to fail through a blowout or tread separation. If that tire is on the front, it's more easily controllable to the driver versus on the rear.
Right, and especially in places like Florida, because when it rains here, it pours.
Absolutely.
How often does your firm handle cases involving defective tires? I know you've handled the Firestone cases back from several years ago, and didn't you just tell me that you've actually are still seeing those recalled tires being sold today?
Sadly enough, a lot of the recalled tires were not removed from the spare position. These cars are being traded and sold, and then someone's rotating the spare tire to the active position, and then they separate and they cause accidents and injuries and deaths. Unfortunately, we see that all the time.
Now, I know you specifically handle product liability all the time. I mean, do you see a lot of tire incidents going on, or how common is that?
Sadly, it's too common, to be honest with you.
Can a tire retailer be held legally responsible for installing or repairing tires improperly?
Absolutely. The Rubber Manufacturers Association has industry standards regarding repairing tires and placement of tires, and if you violate those industry standards, that's a deviation from the standard of care, and they can be held responsible for that.
How does someone know, though?
Well, if you have an accident, the first thing you need to ask is what caused the accident. If it was a tire placement issue, if you've recently been to a tire retailer and they put your 2 new tires on the front rather than the rear, it might have been a hydroplaning situation, or if someone improperly repaired a tire, i.e. they use a patch alone or a plug alone, not the patch-plug combination that the RMA recommends.
So if someone watching right now thinks that they got in an accident and a defective tire may be to blame, what should that person do?
First, they need to preserve all the evidence and then call an attorney who specializes in new products liability law.
And finally, is there any cost to hiring an attorney with your law firm?
Absolutely no cost up front. We do contingency fee work, and the costs itself are borne by our firm. It comes out at the back end after the recovery.
Lance, thanks so much for being on the show. We learned a lot, keeping us safe. We appreciate it. And we'll have an attorney from Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivey, and Fronrath here every month answering the questions you submit online, so make sure you get those questions in.